There are moments in Hollywood history when everything stops. When the cameras freeze, the whispers ripple across studio walls, and every assistant, producer, and background extra suddenly leans in because they know something big has just happened. And this time, that moment didn't come from a scandal in a hotel room or a drunken red carpet meltdown. No, it came from a single sentence that slipped out of Lily Collins' mouth on a tense, overheated film set in Los Angeles. "I'm done protecting her. I'll end her career if I have to." Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. The room went silent. The kind of silence that feels like gravity shifting. And the target of that explosive promise? Meghan Markle, the former Suits actress turned Duchess of Sussex, turned Hollywood comeback hopeful. A woman whose career has seen more reinventions than a Marvel superhero. And yet somehow, every single reinvention comes with a new controversy attached like a shadow she can't outrun. But why did Lily Collins, the elegant, poised, polished actress known for Emily in Paris and countless critically acclaimed roles, reach her breaking point? Why did she vow, with absolute conviction, that she would expose Meghan's past and stop her from ever rising again? And more importantly, what led to that moment? What pushed Lily Collins, a woman known for her grace, restraint, and almost diplomatic kindness, to make such a public, career-ending threat? That is where our story begins, but it certainly doesn't end there. Because what happened behind the scenes of their new film, Close Personal Friends, is something no Hollywood PR team could bury, no royal representative could spin, and no amount of "we're focusing on positive vibes" Instagram captions could hide. It was chaos. It was ego versus elegance. It was ambition versus authenticity. Meghan versus Lily, and the shockwaves are still shaking the industry. I want you to picture this. It's early morning on set. The sun is barely rising. The crew is dragging cables across the floor, makeup artists are setting out brushes, and the producers are smiling nervously. It's supposed to be the start of a major production. One that could revitalize careers, earn nominations, and generate headlines for all the right reasons. Instead, the tension hits before coffee is even poured. Meghan arrives first, stepping out of a black SUV with sunglasses the size of small satellites. She walks like she owns the building, chin high, shoulders back, someone hovering behind her holding a designer bag. The energy is unmistakable. She's here to reclaim Hollywood, and she wants everyone to notice. Minutes later, Lily walks in with a completely different tone. Hair tied loosely, tote bag slung over one shoulder, sipping an iced coffee she paid for herself. She greets the sound technicians, the production assistants, the interns, every single person, by name. No entourage, no dramatic entrances, just professionalism. Two women, two energies, one film, one inevitable explosion. And from the moment their eyes met that morning, insiders say Lily sensed something was off. Not just off. Something dangerous. Something that felt more like a storm than a co-star. So the question becomes, what exactly did Lily see? Because she didn't jump to conclusions. Lily has worked with difficult co-stars before. She has played alongside actors who were emotionally unpredictable, ego-driven, or outright hostile. But Meghan? Meghan was different. According to crew members who've already spilled details to entertainment blogs and anonymous forums, Meghan walked onto the set like she was the executive producer, director, and head of the studio combined. She gave unsolicited notes. She questioned wardrobe choices approved months earlier. She redlined sections of the script she didn't like. She openly disagreed with stage directions. In one tense moment, insiders claim she even told the assistant director, "This scene doesn't honor my brand," prompting Lily to glance up with an expression that could only be described as "here we go." But it wasn't just Meghan's behavior that sparked the feud. It was the pattern, because Hollywood never forgets. And neither do the people who worked with Meghan in the past. The whispers traveled faster than the camera dolly. Stories surfaced from her early days, stories Lily had apparently already heard before signing the contract. But Lily didn't judge her for them. She gave her the benefit of the doubt, until the moment she couldn't anymore. The real eruption came later, after a particularly tense rehearsal. Sources say Meghan insisted the scene revolve more around her character than the script intended. She wanted longer shots, more emotional beats, more close-ups. And Lily, who had worked tirelessly on her own character development, gently pushed back. That's when Meghan allegedly dropped a line that would echo through the entire set. "Lily's just intimidated because I'm the bigger name." Silence. Shock. A few stifled gasps. And something inside Lily Collins shifted. Because it wasn't just disrespect. It wasn't just arrogance. It was the blatant rewrite of reality. A rewriting that Lily had seen before. In Meghan's interviews, articles, statements, and even in footage from her royal years. The reinvention of narratives. The constant victimhood framing. The insistence that everyone else was the problem. That was the moment Lily realized. Hollywood wasn't just dealing with an actress trying to reboot her image. They were dealing with a deeply calculated, deeply entitled figure who believed the universe, and now this film, should revolve around her. But what Lily Collins did next is what transformed a fragile working dynamic into a full-blown Hollywood war. Because Lily didn't explode. She didn't lash out. She didn't scream or insult or retaliate. Instead, she walked off set. Calmly. Quietly. But with a determination that terrified the producers. And that's when she told them the now infamous line. "I'm done protecting her." But what did Lily mean by protecting? And why did she imply she had been protecting Meghan before this point? From what exactly? From whom? Or more importantly, from what past? Because everyone on set heard the words, but not everyone understood the implications. But the few people who did, they went pale. Some say Lily knows about Meghan's early roles, the ones Meghan tried to erase from the internet. Some say Lily has connections to casting agents who witnessed Meghan's desperate climb in her 20s. Others claim Lily has receipts. Emails, texts, private testimonies from people who felt manipulated, used, or mistreated by Meghan years before the royal spotlight ever found her. Whatever the truth was, Lily made one thing clear in that moment. She wasn't afraid of Meghan's title, her PR machinery, or her carefully curated public persona. From that day forward, she vowed to expose the real Meghan. The one she had allegedly heard about long before Meghan married into royalty and long before she began rebranding herself as a humanitarian, a cultural icon, or a misunderstood underdog. But this isn't just a story of two actresses clashing. This is a story about what happens when Hollywood authenticity collides with royal entitlement. When an industry built on teamwork collides with a personality built on control. When one woman's quiet dignity collides with another woman's relentless need for dominance. And as production continued, the tension grew thicker. Meghan became more defensive. Lily became more resolute. And the crew? The crew started keeping score, whispering, watching, and predicting which actress would snap first. Some say Meghan tried to corner Lily privately to come to an understanding. Others insist Meghan attempted to rally producers to her side, painting Lily as unsupportive, cold, or jealous. But the truth is, Meghan underestimated just how respected Lily is behind the scenes. Not just for her performances, but for her integrity. Lily Collins is Hollywood royalty not because of who her father is, but because she behaves like royalty in the one way that matters, with grace. Meghan Markle plays royalty. Lily Collins lives it. That contrast, that undeniable contradiction, fueled everything that happened next. And trust me, once you understand the full scope of what erupted on that set, the back and forth, the hidden tensions, the explosive confrontations, the secret recordings, the resurfaced stories from Meghan's past, you will see exactly why Lily Collins reached her breaking point, and why she told the producers she would personally end Meghan Markle's acting career if necessary. Because the truth is, this feud wasn't about a single insult, or a single moment, or even a single production. It was about years of behavior catching up to Meghan in the one place where she has the least control. A film set run by professionals who aren't impressed by royal titles, Netflix deals, or publicity stunts. And just when producers thought things couldn't get any worse, they did. Because the moment that truly shattered whatever was left of the working relationship wasn't seen by the public. It wasn't talked about at first. It wasn't shared on social media, leaked through tabloids, or whispered at Hollywood parties. It was a private recording. A recording that captured a side of Meghan Markle that the public was never supposed to hear. And when that recording found its way into Lily Collins' hands, through a crew member who'd finally had enough, everything changed. But what was in that recording? What did Meghan say? What truth was captured on audio that made Lily Collins say she would end Meghan's career? And why did producers immediately lock down the file, terrified it might leak? Those answers, those revelations, those explosive details that shift this story from drama to detonation are the reason you're here. Because once we step into Chapter 1, you're going to hear exactly what happened on day one of filming, what Meghan did that set the tone for disaster, and why Lily knew, instantly, that this project was going to collapse unless someone stepped up. But what came next would change everything, and no one saw it coming. You always hear people say, you can tell everything you need to know about a person in the first 5 minutes. Most of the time, it's an exaggeration. But not on this set. Not on this day. Not with these two women. Because the very first morning of filming Close Personal Friends didn't just hint at the disaster that was coming. It practically announced it with a flashing neon sign. And it began the moment Meghan Markle stepped out of her car. The clock wasn't even at 6 a.m. yet. The sunrise had barely cracked over the studio roof lines. Most actors would walk in quietly, sleepy-eyed, mumbling good morning to the makeup team while clutching a lukewarm latte. But not Meghan. Never Meghan. She arrived with the energy of a woman walking onto a royal balcony, ready for dramatic applause that no one actually gave. Her SUV doors swung open, and out came the Duchess of Sussex with that trademark walk. Chin up, shoulders sharp, everything in slow motion like she expected a film crew to be recording B-roll of her arrival. Sunglasses, even though the sky was still dim. Designer coat draped over her shoulders even though Los Angeles was hitting 87 degrees by noon. And behind her, 3 people carrying things she could have easily carried herself. One crew member whispered under his breath, "Oh God, here we go." And that was before Meghan even reached the building. Then, almost like fate had impeccable timing, Lily Collins stepped out of her car at the exact same moment. But her entrance? Completely different. No entourage, no posturing, no theatrics. Lily walked in with a wrinkled tote bag, hair in a loose bun, iced coffee in one hand, script in the other. She smiled softly at the security guard, waved at the lighting crew, thanked the craft services guy for showing up early. And as she passed Meghan, she offered a friendly, sincere, quiet greeting. Meghan didn't respond, not because she didn't hear it, but because she wasn't going to be the first one to acknowledge anyone, especially not someone she saw as competition. And that's when the atmosphere shifted, subtly, like a pressure drop before a storm. Do you know that feeling? When something invisible changes the whole room. You can't describe it in words, but you can feel it in your stomach? That's exactly what happened. Lily paused, just for a moment. Her smile wavered. She wasn't offended. She was surprised, caught off guard by someone who clearly wanted to play a different kind of game. Still, she shook it off. She wasn't there to pick a fight. She was there to work, to act, to bring the script to life. But even she couldn't sense that this single moment, this ignored greeting, was the beginning of a tension that would swallow the entire set. The morning moved forward. Makeup, wardrobe, camera tests, blocking. And that's when the first real problem started. Because Meghan walked into the makeup trailer not like an actress ready for her call-time routine, but like a queen inspecting her throne room. The makeup head, Christina, approached her with a warm smile. She'd been in the industry for 20 years. She'd done the faces of A-list stars who could command 10 times Meghan's paycheck. She'd seen everything. Tantrums, tears, diva demands. Nothing shocked her anymore. Until today. "Good morning, Meghan," Christina said. "We're going to start with a natural look, something fresh." Meghan raised a hand. "No, I need contouring. Full glam. High cheekbones. It's important for the audience to see the structure of my face." Christina blinked. "Of course," she said politely, "but the director's vision is." Meghan cut her off again. "The director can adjust." It wasn't the words, it was the tone. Cold. Sharp. Entitled. Christina stepped back, stunned. A few crew members exchanged glances. One whispered, "Lily's not gonna like this." Meanwhile, in the next trailer, Lily Collins was quietly reviewing her lines, laughing with the hairstylist about getting only 3 hours of sleep. No tension, no drama, just genuine, normal human interaction. And when Lily walked into the makeup space next to Meghan, the contrast was painful. Meghan sat perfectly still, staring at herself like she was analyzing a sculpture. Lily sat down and immediately asked the makeup artist about her kids. Are they feeling better after the flu? Lily asked, concern in her voice. They're all right now, the artist replied. Thanks for remembering. Meghan glanced sideways. Her expression tightened. That's when the first spark ignited. Because the minute the makeup artist began working on Lily, Meghan spoke loudly enough for everyone to hear. I just think it's important for actors to take their roles seriously. When you're the face of a film, you shouldn't come in looking like you just woke up. The room froze. Christina's brush stopped midair. The other makeup artist's jaw dropped. And Lily? She didn't react. At least, not on the outside. She simply looked up, gave a calm smile, and said, I think authenticity matters. The audience knows when you're being real. Meghan's lip curled, just slightly. A smirk disguised as a smile. The intention was clear. You could feel it. Meghan wanted dominance, control, attention, and Lily, simply by existing, threatened that. But the real tipping point came during the first rehearsal. The director gathered everyone in the main soundstage. It was a simple scene, a conversation between Lily's character and Meghan's. Nothing dramatic, nothing complicated. A warm-up scene to get the cast comfortable. Lily stepped into position, script in hand, ready to work. Meghan stood opposite her, arms crossed, waiting for someone to adjust the lighting on her face. Can we raise the angle? Meghan called out. This lighting makes my jaw look too sharp. The lighting tech looked confused. It's standard setup, he said. Matches Lily's side. Well, I need something softer, Meghan insisted. This angle isn't flattering. Lily looked at the lighting rig, then at the tech, then at Meghan. She didn't sigh. She didn't roll her eyes. She didn't react dramatically. But her silence said enough. Still, the director tried to stay neutral. Let's focus on the performance first, he said. We can adjust lighting afterward. But Meghan wasn't letting it go. I'm sorry, but I can't give my best performance if I'm being lit like a background extra. That was it. Lily's head snapped slightly toward Meghan. A shift so subtle, but so powerful. Because everyone knew Lily is the least egotistical actor on that set. She's respectful. She's disciplined. She believes in the craft. And here was Meghan, calling herself the star. The director exhaled sharply and insisted rehearsal begin. Action. Lily delivered her line flawlessly. Soft, emotional, layered. She hit her mark with precision. Meghan responded, stiff, overly dramatic, with pauses too long to be intentional. It felt less like acting and more like someone trying to imitate a dramatic actress. They reset. During the second run, Meghan cut the scene midline. I'm sorry, she said loudly, but I need Lily to adjust her delivery. She's overshadowing my character. The air vanished from the room. Lily blinked several times, stunned but holding her composure. I'm just following the script, she said gently. Well, it's not balanced, Meghan insisted. My character needs more emotional space. One crew member whispered. No one has ever said that to Lily Collins. Another murmured. This will not end well. The director rubbed his temples. Meghan, he began slowly. This is a dialogue-driven scene. There's equal emotional weight on both sides. Meghan shook her head. I'm the more recognizable name. The audience is naturally going to be drawn to me. It only makes sense that the scene should reflect that. Lily didn't speak. She didn't have to. Her silence was louder than any argument. But inside, a line had been crossed. After rehearsal ended, Lily quietly walked off set to reset her focus. She wasn't angry. Not yet. She was processing, reflecting, trying to understand why Meghan was so determined to undermine her this early. That's when she overheard it. Meghan, talking to her assistant. Not quietly, not discreetly, not respectfully. Lily's intimidated, Meghan said. She knows I'm the star. This is my comeback, not hers. A producer rounded the corner just in time to hear it too. His eyes widened. His notepad slipped from his hand. He looked at Lily with a kind of sympathy no actress ever wants to receive. Because this wasn't petty behavior anymore. This was calculated, deliberate, designed to assert dominance. And Lily saw it for exactly what it was. Then came the moment that sealed the fate of the entire production. Lunch break. Lily sat with 3 crew members, chatting quietly. Meghan walked by their table, paused, leaned in, and said, You know, Lily, this film is going to be huge for both of us. But you're going to need to step up your presence if you want to stay relevant. Lily blinked. Meghan smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. It was the type of smile someone gives right before they push you off a cliff. And Lily said something that no one expected. I'm here to work. I'm not here to compete. Meghan's reply? Oh, honey, everything in Hollywood is competition. The crew members looked away. Embarrassed. Awkward. Shocked. Lily stood up slowly. Calm. Composed. She wasn't angry. Not yet. She was trying to understand. Meghan, are you suggesting that I would hurt the film just to steal attention? Meghan didn't answer immediately. She let the question hang in the air. She looked Lily up and down like she was calculating something. Finally, she responded. Are you denying it? The audacity of the question sent a shockwave through the room. Almost every crew member inhaled at the same time. Because accusing Lily Collins, the most disciplined, well-respected actress on that set, of manipulating the script to sabotage a co-star, that was nuclear-level provocation. Lily tilted her head slightly, eyes soft but steady. Yes, she said. I'm denying it. I'm denying it completely. But Meghan wasn't letting it go. Because she didn't want an answer. She wanted a threat. She wanted pressure. She wanted control. If this keeps happening, Meghan said, voice icy, I'll have no choice but to escalate this. I will go to the studio heads. The studio heads. Everyone knew what that meant. The producers. The executives. The ones who cared less about art and more about schedules, budgets, branding, liability, and public fallout. It's where real damage happens. That's when Lily finally stepped closer. Not confrontational. Not aggressive. Just firm enough to make sure Meghan heard every word. I would never sabotage a film I signed on to, Lily said quietly. And I would never sabotage another actor. But if you're struggling with your scenes, talk to the director. Not me. Meghan opened her mouth, but Lily continued, calm, collected, unmoved. Accusing another actor of sabotage is serious. You should think about what you're saying. Meghan's eyes narrowed. Because Lily didn't cave. She didn't apologize for something she didn't do. She didn't shrink. And Meghan hated that. Control denied. Narrative interrupted. The script supervisor tried to break the tension. Let's all take a breath. Nobody rewrote anything. The script is exactly the. Meghan snapped. Then why do my lines feel different? The director stepped forward, frustration now visible. Maybe it's because you haven't rehearsed them the same way twice. There it was. A truth Meghan couldn't swallow. Her expression hardened instantly. And with that single reaction, the crew finally understood what Lily had already sensed. Meghan wasn't looking for the truth. She was looking for someone to blame. Someone to project onto. Someone to paint as the villain. And Lily? Lily was the perfect target. Because Lily had something Meghan couldn't stand. Effortless respect. People liked Lily. They admired her discipline, her warmth, her consistency. Meghan, however, demanded respect. Expected admiration. And when she didn't get it, she attacked. The rehearsal moved forward, but the energy in the room was poisoned. Meghan delivered her lines with sharp edges. Her eyes flicked to Lily with thinly veiled hostility. Every time Lily performed smoothly, naturally, Meghan's jaw tightened. Halfway through the scene, Meghan interrupted the director. I need to stop, she said, voice trembling with performative emotion. I can't connect to the scene because I feel undermined. The director lost patience. By who, Meghan? And she said it. Plain, simple, and loud. By Lily. Lily froze. Even the lights seemed to buzz louder. But Meghan wasn't done. She's altering her tone to shift the emotional weight away from my character, she said. She's changing her delivery so that I appear flat. That wasn't just false. It was insulting. It accused Lily of weaponizing her own talent. The director stared at Meghan, dumbfounded. That's how Lily acts, he said. She's not changing anything. She's performing. But Meghan insisted. No, she's doing it intentionally. Lily inhaled slowly. She had reached her limit. Not anger. Not rage. Not emotional explosion. She reached her limit for tolerance. And when Lily Collins reaches her limit, she doesn't shout. She clarifies. Meghan, Lily said quietly, voice steady. If you're insecure about your scenes, that's something you need to work on. But don't accuse me of trying to make you look bad. That's not who I am. The room held its breath. Meghan's face shifted, just for a moment. Something sharp. Something unfamiliar. A mix of fear and disbelief. Because Lily had called out the truth. Not cruelly. Not publicly. But undeniably. And Meghan, who relied on controlling the narrative in every conflict she'd ever been involved in, realized that she could not control this one. For the first time on this set, someone saw through her. Someone she couldn't intimidate. Someone she couldn't manipulate. Someone she couldn't overpower with drama, guilt, or royal mystique. Lily Collins had become a threat, not because of what she did, but because of what she didn't do. She didn't bend. She didn't break. She didn't give Meghan the reaction she wanted. And Meghan needed someone to blame, to defend her ego, to maintain her story, to protect the version of herself she wanted the world to see. So she blamed Lily. She accused Lily. She targeted Lily. And with that accusation came a wildfire that spread through the crew like gasoline on dry brush. People began watching Meghan more closely. Her insecurity, her defensiveness, her pattern of blaming others, and most importantly, her fear. Because when someone lashes out this intensely, this early, this irrationally, it's never about the moment. It's about what they're hiding. And some crew members began whispering that Meghan wasn't afraid Lily was sabotaging the film. She was afraid Lily might expose her. Not through malice, but through proximity. Because Lily was smart. She noticed things. She connected dots. And Meghan's past, her real past, had far more secrets than anyone on set realized. But the moment that escalated this feud beyond repair didn't happen in front of the cameras. It happened in a hallway. After rehearsal, when Meghan confronted Lily privately. Or, she thought it was private. Meghan cornered Lily, ice cold. "You're not going to make me look bad in this film," she said. Lily didn't flinch. "I'm not trying to." Meghan leaned in even closer. "You're not going to outshine me." Lily's expression didn't change. "Meghan," she said softly, "if you feel overshadowed, that's something you need to work through." Meghan's voice dropped to a whisper. "I will not let you take this comeback away from me." And Lily, finally, understood what this was really about. Not scenes, not dialogue, not lighting. Fear, desperation, and ego. She stepped back, nodding slowly. "I'm not your enemy," Lily said. But Meghan's response was chilling. "You are now." And as Meghan stormed away, she didn't notice the sound engineer walking behind the corner. The microphone around his neck was still on. It caught every word, every threat, every hint of hostility, every drop of venom. And that recording? It would soon land in Lily Collins' hands. But what happened when Lily heard it would ignite a war no one on the set was prepared for. Because the sabotage accusation was only the beginning. The real explosion? It was coming, and it would change everything. Some stories don't begin with a scream. They begin with a whisper. A quiet, unplanned moment no one intends to spread. A passing comment behind a half-closed door. A sigh shared between two exhausted crew members. The kind of thing that should have disappeared in the air, except this time, it didn't. Because on the set of Close Personal Friends, the whispers about Meghan Markle didn't fade. They multiplied. They evolved. They grew legs and sprinted across the studio. But the moment everything truly shifted, the moment the subtle murmurs turned into real concern, happened on a day that was supposed to be routine. A simple blocking rehearsal. A moment everyone assumed would go smoothly. Instead, it became the first day Lily Collins realized just how deep Meghan's insecurities ran and how quickly they could turn toxic. It all started with a joke. A harmless, light, innocent joke made by a lighting technician named Marcus. He'd been with the studio for almost 12 years, the type of person who knew everyone by name and made stress feel a little less heavy. He was adjusting a reflector panel when Lily walked onto the soundstage with her usual warm smile. "Morning, Marcus," she said. "Did you get any sleep after the night shoot?" He chuckled. "Sleep? Never heard of it." Lily laughed, a real, genuine laugh that made people around her smile without even meaning to. It was her charm, her accidental charisma, her natural warmth. But Meghan, standing just a few feet away, overheard Marcus telling another crew member, "She makes it feel like a real set again." Those 8 innocent words, Meghan took them as an attack. A personal insult. Almost an act of treason. Her eyebrow twitched. Her jaw tightened. Something dark passed across her face, subtle but unmistakable. It wasn't about Lily being liked. It was about Lily being liked more. And when you're operating from fear, not confidence, everything feels like a threat. Meghan stepped closer to the 2 crew members, her voice low but sharp enough to slice tension into the air. "What exactly do you mean by that?" Marcus froze. He wasn't used to being confronted by actors, let alone ones who seemed ready to dissect every syllable spoken within a 10-foot radius. Oh, I didn't mean anything, Meghan, he said, trying to laugh it off. Just that Lily brings good energy. Meghan's smile was thin, artificial, strained. Well, I bring good energy too, she said. Marcus nodded quickly. Of course. Yeah, absolutely. But Meghan wasn't satisfied. You should be careful with the way you phrase things, she added. Comments can be misinterpreted. The message was clear. Don't compliment Lily in front of me. Don't compare us. Don't say anything that could make me feel less important. But Marcus, confused, tired, and not in the mood for Hollywood ego games, shrugged. I didn't mean anything negative, he said again. And that's when the whisper was born. Because the moment Meghan walked away, Marcus muttered to the person next to him. Wow, she's intense. He didn't know Lily heard it. He didn't know 3 extras heard it. He didn't know one makeup artist heard it. He didn't know the camera operator heard it. And Meghan didn't know that every person who overheard it would tell someone else. Within an hour, the whisper became a quiet discussion. Within 3 hours, it became a shared agreement among several crew members. Meghan was spiraling. But Meghan wasn't done. Because moments later, she did something that turned the whisper into a wildfire. She confronted Lily, right in front of everyone. Lily had just finished adjusting her mark when Meghan marched up to her with the kind of confidence a person has when they're about to twist a narrative into something unrecognizable. I hope you're not encouraging the crew to compare us, Meghan said with a brittle smile. Lily blinked slowly. I'm sorry? Compare us? Meghan gave a light laugh that didn't sound human. You know how some actors try to build alliances on set, she said. Try to seem like the favorite. I want to make sure we aren't going down that road. Lily stared at her, stunned by the absurdity. Meghan, I wasn't. I just think it's unprofessional, Meghan continued. We need to maintain harmony. Harmony. The word hung in the air like a bad joke. The crew members within earshot turned their backs, pretending not to listen, but every ear leaned forward as if pulled by a magnet. Lily took a deep breath. I'm here to do my job, she said gently. Nothing more. Nothing less. But Meghan wasn't finished. Good, she replied. Because I'm not going to let this film turn into a popularity contest. Lily didn't respond. She didn't argue. She didn't defend herself. That's what made it worse for Meghan. Lily's calmness. Her emotional intelligence. Her refusal to escalate. It wasn't weakness. It was strength. And Meghan hated it. Because she couldn't control it. But the real moment that detonated everything came that afternoon during a table read, when the room was quiet except for pages turning and actors softly delivering their lines. The director was midway through the scene when Meghan interrupted with a sudden burst of emotion. I'm sorry. I can't do this, she said, dropping her script dramatically onto the table. I can't act when people are trying to undermine me. The room froze. Everyone looked at Meghan, then at Lily. Because the implication was unmistakable. Lily swallowed hard, her jaw tightening. What do you mean? Lily asked softly. Meghan exhaled sharply. I heard the crew talking earlier, she said. And you know what they said. Lily took in the moment, understanding exactly what Meghan was doing. Weaponizing a harmless comment to create tension. If someone had a concern, Lily replied. You could have talked to me privately. Meghan shook her head. No, she said. This affects the whole production. The director's chair creaked as he leaned forward. Meghan, let's pause, he said carefully. We don't want to create unnecessary conflict. Conflict? Meghan snapped. I'm being targeted. The room felt like it was shrinking. 2 sound technicians exchanged glances. A production assistant slipped quietly toward the exit, unable to handle the rising discomfort. Lily nodded slowly. Okay, she said. Then let's resolve it. Meghan smirked. You're deflecting. Lily's voice didn't rise. Her posture didn't change. But her eyes, they sharpened. Meghan, she said slowly. I don't control what other people say or feel. I can only control how I treat people. And what about how you treat me? Meghan shot back. Lily took a long, measured breath. I've treated you with respect since day one. A long silence stretched between them. It wasn't just tension. It was truth pooling around them like water filling a room. Meghan felt it. Everyone felt it. Because what Lily said was undeniable. And that's when the whispers grew louder. A camera assistant whispered to her colleague. She's projecting. Another whispered. She always blames someone else. Someone else murmured. It's like she wants Lily to be the villain. But the worst whisper, the one that reached Meghan's ears through 3 different people, was the quiet comment from a wardrobe intern. She's insecure. That's why she's targeting Lily. The moment Meghan heard that whispered judgment, something inside her snapped. It wasn't anger. It was something deeper. Fear. Because insecurity exposed is insecurity intensified. And insecure people cling to control like oxygen. Which is why, that evening, Meghan returned to set for the late-night blocking session with an entirely different demeanor. Harder, colder, more calculated. She approached Lily with a stiff smile, and without any warning, said, "I just want you to admit it." Lily looked confused. "Admit what?" "That you're feeding the crew's opinions," Meghan said. "You're encouraging them to praise you and criticize me." Lily's heart dropped. "Meghan," she said softly, "that's not what's happening." Meghan stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You're trying to sabotage me." There it was again. The word. Sabotage. A word sharp enough to cut trust in half. A word designed to make Lily the enemy. A word that could ignite an entire Hollywood scandal if pushed hard enough. And Meghan wasn't done. She leaned in even closer and whispered, "People see what you're doing, and I'm not going to let you ruin this for me." Lily stepped back, speechless, because she wasn't fighting with logic anymore. She was fighting with paranoia. But Meghan said one more line, one that changed everything for Lily. "Just know, I see through your little innocent act." And Lily, finally, felt something inside her chest tighten. Not fear, not anger, disappointment. Deep, painful disappointment that this was the woman she had to work with. She walked away, offering herself a moment to breathe. But Meghan didn't see the person who overheard her. The boom operator. Mic still on. Recorder still running. And within an hour, the whispers weren't whispers anymore. They were discussions, conversations, warnings. Until finally, someone, the one crew member fed up with the tension, made a choice that would change the course of the entire production. They sent the recording to Lily. And when she pressed play, she heard it all. The accusation, the venom, the paranoia, the belief that Lily was her enemy. And Lily Collins, the woman who always tried to take the high road, finally realized. This wasn't just hostility. This wasn't just insecurity. This was a pattern from Meghan's past. A pattern that Lily now knew she couldn't ignore. Because if Meghan was willing to twist crew whispers into sabotage, what would she do next? And the answer was far worse than anyone expected. Because the next person Meghan targeted wasn't Lily. It was someone she should never have crossed. But what came next would change everything, and no one was prepared for the fallout. Chaos doesn't always explode. Sometimes it leaks. Drop by drop, whisper by whisper, bite by bite. And on this production, the moment everything truly spiraled wasn't during a fight on set, or a confrontation in front of the cast, or even one of Meghan's dramatic complaints to the director. No, it was a sound file, a leaked audio recording that traveled through the crew like contraband, passed silently from one phone to another, from one shaky hand to someone else's trembling fingers. And at the center of it was Meghan. But the moment that made this recording legendary wasn't Meghan's voice. It was Lily Collins' reaction to it. Because no one expected Lily to respond the way she did. And no one, absolutely no one, was prepared for what came next. Let's go back to the beginning of the moment the audio was captured. The hallway was quiet, dark, only a single overhead light flickering in the back. Meghan didn't know anyone was nearby. She didn't know a sound tech with a hot mic was 3 steps behind her, adjusting equipment. She didn't know her voice would travel through the boom channel, picked up accidentally by a rolling recorder. And she definitely didn't know that every word she said in that moment would become the spark of a Hollywood war. The recording began like this. "I swear, if Lily keeps trying to overshadow me, I'm going to make sure the studio replaces her." The voice was unmistakable, cold, sharp, clipped. Meghan Markle at her most unfiltered. Not the poised advocate. Not the calm duchess. Not the humanitarian on magazine covers. This was another side, raw, biting, calculating. The sound tech froze the moment the words left her mouth. He didn't mean to record it. It wasn't intentional. But the mic was hot, the hallway was still, and Meghan kept talking. "She acts like she's this angel," Meghan continued, "but she's fake. She pretends to be sweet, but I can see through her act. She wants to humiliate me. Another voice, her assistant's, tried to soothe her. Maybe she doesn't mean anything by it. No, Meghan said sharply. She's doing it on purpose. She wants to make me look like the unstable one. The tech swallowed hard. He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't supposed to hear this. But he also couldn't stop listening. I can't let her destroy my comeback, Meghan added. Not again. Not after everything. This film was supposed to be my return. And she's trying to take it away from me. There was a pause. Then the line that made everyone's blood run cold. If Lily pushes me again, I'll make sure her career ends before mine ever will. The tech's heart slammed in his chest. This wasn't insecurity anymore. It was a threat. A real, chilling, unmistakable threat. And he knew, instantly, what this meant. If this recording reached the wrong person, Meghan's career would be at risk. If it reached the right person, Lily would have a weapon. One she never asked for, but one that could shift the entire balance of power. The sound tech didn't want to be involved. He didn't want trouble. But when he played it back later, alone in the equipment room, the gravity of it hit him like a fist. This wasn't petty drama. This was combustible. This was dangerous. This was the kind of thing people hid, buried, destroyed, because if it escaped, Hollywood would take sides. So he agonized over what to do. For hours. Almost 24, according to one source. He knew Meghan would deny it. He knew Lily would be blindsided. He knew the producers would be furious. But he also knew something else. Lily didn't deserve this. She didn't deserve to be painted as a villain in a story she didn't start. She didn't deserve to be accused, attacked, or targeted because of someone else's insecurity. So he made a decision. Not out of revenge. Not out of gossip. Out of fairness. He sent it to Lily. The message was simple. You need to hear this. 2 minutes later, Lily Collins sat alone in her trailer, staring at the audio file on her phone without pressing play. Her heart beat softly in her throat. Her fingers hovered over the screen. She didn't want to listen to it. She didn't want to be part of this war. She didn't want to believe Meghan could say something so cruel. But curiosity didn't push her. Necessity did. She needed to know what she was up against. She needed to hear the truth. So she pressed play. The recording crackled softly. Then Meghan's voice filled the small space. I swear, if Lily keeps trying to overshadow me, I'm going to make sure the studio replaces her. Lily's breath caught. She closed her eyes. Not in anger. In pain. Because she knew she hadn't overshadowed anyone. She had been careful, respectful, patient, and yet she was being targeted like this. She kept listening. She acts like she's this angel. But she's fake. Lily opened her eyes. Fake. Her chest tightened. Not because the insult hurt her, but because it wasn't true. Lily had always gone out of her way to treat everyone with kindness, to avoid conflict, to stay humble. Hearing someone twist that, it stung. But she kept listening. She pretends to be sweet, but I can see through her act. Another deep breath. Lily had been nothing but gentle, nothing but cooperative, nothing but patient. But Meghan saw kindness as a manipulation tactic. Lily swallowed hard and continued. I can't let her destroy my comeback. That sentence. That one cut deeper than any insult. Because Lily never wanted to destroy anything. She just wanted to work. Do her job. Tell a story. She had no vendetta, no agenda, no desire to take over anything. But Meghan thought this was a competition. She believed that Lily was an obstacle. And then, if Lily pushes me again, I'll make sure her career ends before mine ever will. Lily's heart stopped for a moment. A threat. Not vague. Not implied. Direct. Intentional. She replayed that sentence twice. 3 times. 4. She wasn't trying to punish herself. She wasn't trying to fixate. She needed to be certain she heard what she thought she heard. She had. There was no misinterpretation. There was no ambiguity. Meghan Markle had threatened her. And not out of provocation. Out of fear. Fear that Lily's natural presence, natural talent, natural ease, made her some kind of rival. Lily set her phone down slowly. Her hands trembled, not from fear, from the weight of clarity. Because now she understood the real reason behind Meghan's accusations. The emotional volatility. The paranoia. The hostility. It wasn't about the script. It wasn't about acting. It wasn't even about the film. It was about insecurity. Deep, corrosive insecurity. But knowing that didn't make Lily feel better. It made her feel responsible. Not responsible for Meghan's actions. Responsible for her own safety. For her reputation. for protecting herself from someone who had already drawn imaginary battle lines. She took a long breath, then another. Then she stood up, grabbed the phone, and walked straight to the producer's office. No hesitation, no fear, no drama, just determination. When she arrived, the producers looked up, confused at the urgency in her eyes. "I need to show you something," Lily said, voice calm but steady. She handed them the phone, pressed play. The room went silent. At first, the producers didn't react. They didn't interrupt. They didn't ask questions. They just listened. Every second, every word, every chilling implication. When it ended, no one spoke. Finally, the head producer exhaled slowly and rubbed his forehead. "Oh God," he whispered. Another producer paced the room, whispering under her breath. "How do we manage this? How do we handle this?" Lily stood still, arms crossed gently, watching the unfolding panic. She didn't revel in it. She didn't enjoy it. She didn't even want it. She wished, truly wished, this had never happened. But it had, and now they had to deal with it. One of the producers turned to her. "Lily," he said carefully, "do you want us to remove her from the project?" Lily froze. She hadn't even thought of that. Remove Meghan? And her role? Fire her? She didn't want to ruin anyone. But she also couldn't ignore the reality of the situation. Still, she shook her head. "No," she said quietly. "I don't want to end her career. I don't want revenge. I want safety. I want respect. I want professionalism." The producer nodded. "We'll handle it," he said. "But we need to be careful. This is delicate." Lily left the office, feeling the weight of the world sitting on her shoulders. Because she knew, no matter what anyone said, this war was no longer quiet, no longer subtle, no longer ignorable. And she also knew something else. Meghan didn't know the audio had leaked. Not yet. And when she found out, her reaction would be nuclear. Because insecure people attack. Cornered, insecure people explode. And Meghan Markle? She was about to be cornered. But the real question wasn't what Meghan would do. It was what she would say. Because the moment she learned the audio existed, she made an accusation so shocking, so outrageous, and so manipulative. It stunned even Lily, and everyone watching. And what came next would push their feud into a place neither woman could come back from. Because the next move? Meghan made it. And it changed everything. There are moments in a person's life when they hit a threshold. A line they didn't know existed until someone else crosses it. And once that line is crossed, once that invisible boundary is shattered, something inside them changes forever. For Lily Collins, that moment came the morning after the leaked audio. Not when she first heard it. Not when she played it for the producers. Not even when she spent half the night lying awake replaying Meghan's words in her mind, trying to understand how things had spiraled so far, so fast. No, the moment came the next day, when she walked onto the set and saw Meghan Markle smiling. Not a normal smile. Not a polite, professional, controlled Hollywood smile. A victorious smile. A smile that said, "I've won. I own this place. I control the narrative." It was a smile that didn't belong to someone unaware of the recording. It belonged to someone who knew exactly what she had said and didn't regret it. Someone who believed she was untouchable. And that was the moment Lily realized Meghan had no idea the audio had leaked, or that her words were now sitting in the hands of the producers, waiting for the right moment to be addressed. Lily walked in, shoulders back, quiet but composed. People looked at her differently. Sympathetically, respectfully, cautiously. The Whisper network was buzzing but silent around her. The crew liked Lily. They trusted her. They wanted to protect her. But no one dared speak openly. And Meghan, Meghan thrived on that silence. She mistook it for power, authority, validation. She strutted around the soundstage like the queen of Hollywood, not the co-lead of a mid-budget drama that still hadn't filmed a single usable scene without tension. The arrogance was suffocating. But the breaking point, the moment that flipped this entire story from tension to war, came during a private meeting called by the director. A meeting Lily didn't want. A meeting Meghan demanded. Because Meghan, with her trademark dramatic timing, walked into that meeting believing she was about to accuse Lily of something catastrophic. She didn't know Lily was holding the smoking gun. The producers sat at the long conference table, faces tight, exhausted. They gestured for Lily to take one seat and for Meghan to take the seat directly across from her. It was a setup for conflict. Meghan saw it and smiled. Lily saw it and exhaled slowly. The director cleared his throat. Thank you both for coming. We need to resolve the tension between you. Tension? Meghan interrupted with a laugh. I wouldn't call it tension. I'd call it sabotage. Lily's stomach tightened. Meghan leaned forward, hands folded, posture poised like a woman ready to deliver a final monologue before the credits roll. I've tried to be patient. I've tried to be understanding. But Lily has been creating an environment that makes it impossible for me to do my job. Lily looked confused. One of the producers blinked in shock. But Meghan wasn't stopping. She continued, voice soft, trembling slightly, perfectly calibrated to sound victimized. Lily has been encouraging the crew to turn against me. She's been manipulating scenes. She's been undermining my performance. And I can't stay silent any longer. Lily could only stare. Because this wasn't insecurity anymore. This was delusion. The director rubbed his temples. Meghan, he said carefully, we've reviewed the script. Lily hasn't changed anything. No one has changed anything. Meghan shook her head aggressively. Of course you'd say that. She makes you all look incompetent if you admit she's sabotaging things behind your back. One producer muttered under his breath, you've got to be kidding me. But Meghan doubled down. She's jealous. She's threatened by me. She doesn't want me to succeed, and she's doing everything she can to destroy my comeback. Lily inhaled slowly. Her heart wasn't racing. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't even angry. She was disappointed. Deeply, profoundly disappointed that a grown woman could stand in a room full of professionals and weave a fantasy so detached from reality. But Meghan wasn't done. Not even close. She turned to Lily, eyes wide, voice trembling with performative pain. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you trying to ruin my career? Lily felt a strange sensation in her chest, something like heartbreak mixed with disbelief. Meghan, she said softly, I've never tried to hurt you. Not once. Liar, Meghan snapped. The producer stiffened. Something inside Lily shifted. She sat up straighter. Her voice became calm, precise, unshakable. You can accuse me of misunderstanding you. You can accuse me of disagreeing with you. But don't accuse me of lying. Meghan scoffed. Please. You've been pretending to be innocent since day one. That was it. The moment that crossed the invisible line. The moment Lily realized she could no longer be passive. She reached into her bag. Pulled out her phone. The producers already tensed. The director closed his eyes. Meghan tilted her head, curious but still arrogant. What are you doing? She asked. Lily tapped a file on the screen, then pressed play. Meghan's own voice filled the room. I'll make sure the studio replaces her. Meghan froze. Her face drained of color. Lily didn't break eye contact. The recording continued. She pretends to be sweet, but she's fake. Meghan's breathing hitched. The producers looked between her and the phone, stunned. The audio grew sharper. I can't let her destroy my comeback. Then, the dagger. If Lily pushes me again, I'll make sure her career ends before mine ever will. Silence. The kind of silence that crushes a room. The kind that makes every person present rethink everything they thought they knew. Lily let the audio finish. Then she locked her phone and set it gently on the table. Her voice was quiet, measured, controlled. This is what you said about me, Meghan. Not the crew. Not the director. Not the studio. You. Meghan's mouth opened and closed like she couldn't find oxygen. I didn't. Someone manipulated it. Someone. No one manipulated it, the head producer said sharply. The timestamp matches the audio logs from the equipment room. Meghan's eyes darted wildly. She wasn't calculating anymore. She wasn't acting. She wasn't performing. She was panicking. Lily continued, voice steady. You accuse me of sabotage, but you're the one threatening my career. You're the one undermining me. You're the one creating danger on this set. Meghan slammed her palm on the table. This is a setup. No, Lily said softly. It's the truth. The truth. A word that hit Meghan like a brick. Because truth was something she couldn't control, couldn't rewrite, couldn't rebrand. She stood up abruptly, chair scraping loudly across the floor. I'm the victim here, she shouted. I'm the one being attacked. She's doing this to make me look unstable. The director stood too, voice stern for the first time. Meghan, enough. Meghan went silent. Everyone watched her, waiting. But the only sound in the room was her shaky breathing. Lily didn't move. She didn't gloat. She didn't smile. She didn't triumph. She simply sat there, calm and unbroken, even after hearing someone she barely knew threatening to end her career. The producer finally spoke. "Lily," he said carefully, "what do you want us to do?" Lily looked at Meghan. Really looked at her. She saw the fear, the desperation, the damage, the loss of control. And Lily, being who she is, chose the high road again. "I don't want her fired," Lily said quietly. "But I want safety. I want respect. And I want the truth acknowledged." Meghan stared at her, stunned, because she expected vengeance. Instead, she got mercy. And nothing drives an insecure person crazier than mercy. The producer nodded. "We'll create boundaries. Separate call times. Separate prep rooms. Professional mediators on set." But the tension wasn't gone. It wasn't even reduced. It was transformed. Lily stood up, ready to leave the room. But as she reached for the doorknob, she paused, looked back, and said something she had never said before. A sentence that would echo through every hallway, every office, every whispered conversation on that set. "I don't want to fight you, Meghan. But if you attack my career again, I won't stay silent." Meghan's jaw tightened. Lily's voice softened even further. "And if I'm forced to defend myself, I will. Not a threat. A promise. A vow." The producers saw it. The director felt it. And Meghan? She finally understood the reality she had created. Lily Collins was done protecting her. And what Lily said next, spoken softly but with unshakable conviction, would set the stage for the next chapter of their war. "You have no idea what you've started." And she walked out, leaving Meghan trembling. Because the feud was no longer quiet, no longer subtle, no longer ignorable. Lily had drawn a line. And Meghan? Meghan was about to cross it again. But what she did next shocked even the producers. Because her next move wasn't emotional. It was strategic. And it was ruthless. What Meghan did next changed everything.